Greetings and welcome to Let's Play Blue-Eyed Husky Whelp 5, The Revenge. No. Vlog time! Yay! I haven't done a vlog for quite some time. So I decided it's time for vlog. Let me drink something. I love it. A lot of people asked me about my opinion regarding the Realms of Arcadia, I can't remember, Blade of Destiny Remake. And what is my opinion on this, and yada-da-da-da. To be quite honest, I don't give a rat's ass. That may shock some people, but first of all, in my opinion, the Blade of Destiny was the weakest of the trilogy. Story-wise and gameplay-wise and whatever-wise, I personally preferred Shadows over Weaver the most. I know some people will be like, oh, Star Trail is so awesome. I don't know, I couldn't really get into Star Trail. The ending, in my opinion, didn't make any sort of sense, or suddenly dragon, something like that. I don't know. And I didn't really like the traveling aspects. I mentioned that in my Let's Play, and I don't know. I think the third one was the most polished. It has the most condensed story. It wasn't full of traveling from A to B with 5 billion random encounters, and you had to know beforehand what kind of equipment you need and what you don't need, and I don't know. I don't know. I don't like these trial and error gameplay styles. Don't know. So yeah. What else is there to say about this game? I just saw the trailer. I haven't seen a lot of more information besides the trailer. The graphics seems to look nice. The combat graphic looks horrible. I don't know what on earth they were thinking with the models there. I mean, you know, I always say graphics don't make a game, and I don't care for crappy graphics. But it has to be appealing to the eye. I mentioned that a lot in my Wizardry Let's Play. I don't think that Wizardry 6 is appealing to the eye. It looks horrible compared to other games like Dungeon Master, which looks appealing to the eye in my opinion, but kinda had a worse graphics. But it didn't try something fancy with billions of shades in huge quotation marks, or I don't know. So yeah, but those models, holy hell. I kind of like it that they put in turn-based combat and didn't do some sort of, I don't know, Oblivion-style combat. They mentioned that they overhauled the class system, the skill system, and yeah, that could be everything. That could be, they could remove all of the unnecessary skills like riding or stuff you'd never need, or I don't know. So in my opinion, there's not enough information out there yet. I only searched for like 10-15 minutes because, like I said, I do not really care. Compared to my enthusiasm of Legend of Grimrock, for example, Legend of Grimrock is something new. Would I have been as excited about the Dungeon Master remake? I don't know. I mean, I downloaded a Dungeon Master mod or map for Legend of Grimrock, but I didn't really bother beating it. Why? Because why should I play the same game over again just with better graphics? Why? I mean, since I kinda got Dungeon Master for the PC, or even beforehand when I got it on my Super Nintendo, I was beating it at least once per year. I made challenge runs with only 2 characters. I made challenge runs with only 1 character. I beat the game just with Hissa. Why should I beat the same game again, just with better graphics? Why should I care? If they had announced Legend of Grimrock, the remake of Dungeon Master, I wouldn't have been as excited. Because I wouldn't have bought it. I wouldn't. Why should I? I mean, it's pointless. I don't like these 1-to-1 remakes of old games without adding or doing something. They introduced, not really introduced, but you can travel freely in the cities, kinda like in Shadows over Weaver. But I also have to say, no. I mean, I'm used to grid-based movement in these games, and I only switched to free movement in Shadows of Weaver because you would have gotten stuck in a lot of places, because the game wasn't really made for grid movement. And I don't know, I kinda prefer grid movement in my dungeon crawlers. Call me crazy. I also don't see how this somehow works out with the random encounter rate. I don't know. I would think it is pretty silly that if I just... There's a difference, in my opinion, between moving one grid forward or just like, oh, I just moved one step and suddenly a random encounter. I don't know. Perhaps that's me being biased or something. I honestly don't know. So far I can only say I'm not really that excited about it. If they had made a remake of Shadows of Weaver, I may be more excited, but so far, I don't really care. They should have just made a totally new game or something like that. I don't know. Especially Ways of Arcadia. Arcania. I don't know how famous it is. I checked a few things and I saw an article about Legend of Grimrock selling 600,000 units, and the developer saying, yeah, we would have been happy even just with 60,000 units, so 10 times as much. Yeah, we are set. I don't see this game breaking any new ground. I don't see, especially when I look at the models during the combat, I don't see this game being like, whoa. I mean, graphic-wise, Legend of Grimrock was, holy hell, it was awesome. I really enjoyed it, walking through the dungeon, the lighting effects and stuff like that. I didn't see it in the trailer. I saw a city that kind of looked, yeah, little bit worse than Oblivion. Not even a little, way worse than Oblivion. So, it didn't really fancy me. I'm sorry, it didn't strike a nerve. I'm not sitting here like, oh, I have to play this game, it will be awesome. No. So, yeah. That's my take on the Blade of Destiny remake. I don't give a flying fuck. What else? At the moment, I'm still playing, as you may know, 3 games: Wizardry 6, Neverwinter Nights, and Rogue Legacy. I am really enjoying Rogue Legacy. If you haven't seen my Let's Play of that, then I can only suggest you do that, because compare this to my Wizardry 6 Let's Play, where I'm really, really struggling to play this game. I don't know. I was thinking about that. Did I get too old? Does nostalgic factor play a lot into that? And I talked with Darth Helmet today a little bit about that, this streamlining of stuff, and how some people see it as a curse. The curse of streamlining, making a game more streamlined, easier to get into. And I personally still think that games that are easy to learn but hard to master are still the best games. I don't really like games where you, at least not anymore. I'm pretty sure my point of view changed over that during the years. I mean, I really enjoyed, for example, Neverwinter Nights when I was younger, to build my own builds and get into the details and the nicks and the knacks and whatever. The thing is, it is not really necessary for single player gameplay. So I didn't really bother with it too much. I was just interested in, well, the ins and outs of the game. It would have been different if the game demanded you to have a perfect build. The first time I played Neverwinter Nights, I made a paladin with 10 charisma, I think 16 dexterity, a few strengths, stuff like that. If you know the rules, you know that 16 dexterity on a paladin is useless because he's wearing plate armor, and plate armor gives you only a maximum bonus of 1 on your dexterity. So this character was totally useless. Why? Because I didn't get into the details that much. I was used to playing Baldur's Gate, for example. Baldur's Gate, you put into your decks because that gives you bonuses. Or not even Baldur's Gate, I have the Beholder. You play after a Beholder, you increase your dexterity and voila, you get less AC because that's better. That's what I did with Neverwinter Nights. The character was horrible, but I beat the game. Challenge, I don't know. It was challenging because the character was horrible, but I don't know. And that kind of ticks me off at the moment. I have some people at the moment doing my Might and Magic Let's Plays who go through this and act like all high and mighty because I didn't min-max. Somebody asked me, oh, why did you make the monk a goblin and not a human? It is better, blah, 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 blah. Because I didn't want to. Simple as that. You don't have to min-max, especially not in Might and Magic. People beat this game with one character. You don't have to min-max in that. Hell, I'm pretty sure you don't even have to min-max in fucking Wizardry 6. I'm pretty sure people beat that with only one ninja or something like that. I saw some videos of someone who, I think he beat the game, I'm not sure, but at least he killed some bosses with one ninja in Wizardry 7. So, yeah, it is possible. If you know the ins and outs of the game, it is possible to beat this game with less. Less is more. But when I make a Let's Play, I don't really want to min-max all the time. I don't want to be perfect. Because that takes quite a lot of the fun. In my opinion. I'm saying this now with my Neverwinter Nights Let's Play where I have a pretty powerful build, but still I'm pretty sure I managed to fuck it up. And I think that was the main reason why I didn't really like my Icewind Dale Let's Play. I haven't played Icewind Dale 1 before, I played Icewind Dale 2. I really enjoyed Icewind Dale 2. Perhaps it may be rose-tinted glasses, it may be nostalgic factor, I don't know, I haven't played it for a long time. But I remember it to be pretty fun, challenging, but not unfair. Going back to an Icewind Dale 1, where you can only defeat the final boss if you find 3 weapons in the game, because only they have the high enough bonus to actually hit the fucking thing. It is not fun. It is not fun. I have no problem with challenges as long as I as a player am being challenged and not my predetermined knowledge of the game, or if I scorched every possibility, if I did every side quest. That's why they are side quests. They should be optional. If you want to improve your characters with that, okay. It shouldn't be mandatory. I should have gotten these 3 weapons during the course of normal gameplay. Like, oh yeah, the final boss is some sort of god or something, so you need +6 weapons to actually hit him. There's a cave over there with an ogre. I think he has some weapons. That should be something. And not like, oh yeah, you missed this weapon hidden in one of the screens there. Too bad. Sucks to be you, I guess. And I especially hate it when the final boss is magicking you. It's so ridiculously stupid. Oh, you have a wizard in your party. Too bad. He's useless. How about you take him and go for a walk or something? Yeah, you can take this puppy over there, this one, and take a walk with him, because he's totally useless. Oh, you didn't know that beforehand? Yeah, sorry that we didn't tell you that. Imagine playing Skyrim and the final boss can only be defeated if you have a bartering skill of 100 or something like that. And that's something. It's even in. I think it was System Shock. Yahtzee reviewed this a few weeks or months ago, and he also said that a lot of people really, really love System Shock 2. They adore this game. They think it's one of the best games ever, but they never beat it. Why? Because, well, if you put in your points wrong, then you have a problem. I mean, and that's what it's called with streamlining. I personally think that it is wrong to do such curveballs. If the game gives you the option to play as like I said, it would be like, sure, if the player makes totally stupid choices, like, okay, I'm going to play a Marine, but I only, System Shock 2, I play as a Marine, but I'm putting all my points into this Psy Ball thingy there. That, or I don't specialize, even that. I hate it when you can screw up your whole game because it didn't have meta knowledge. That's what I kinda hated, for example, in Diablo 2. I played Diablo 2, I really enjoyed it, and I was playing Meteor Sorceress before any patches, and you could just spam Meteor. You could spam it. Bam, 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 bam. Then a patch came and suddenly, oh yeah, you have a cooldown of Meteor. You can only have like 2 on the screen maximum. I was like, okay, this jar is useless now. I don't know. I personally don't like it. This should be, perhaps if you play on a harder difficulty or special modi or whatever, then yeah, that should reward you for knowing more about the game. But the reward should be just for yourself. And that is kind of something I also don't like about the current World of Warcraft forum goers who are like, yeah, you should only be able to access all the content when you're doing hard mode or something like that. Yeah, I don't have time for that. Sorry, but too bad. And I don't know. If I want a challenge in a video game, I either want to know beforehand that the game is challenging, like Dark Souls. I would buy Dark Souls in an instant if I could play with a controller. But I don't have an Xbox controller for my PC, so I'm not going to buy it just for this game. Taking back to Wizardry, I mean, I knew beforehand Wizardry is a game that loves to fuck you in the ass. That's Wizardry. It is not Might and Magic. Might and Magic is something for... It is not for beginners, but at least starting with 3, 4, 5, it goes into the intermediate, the a little bit more knowledged gamer or RPG gamer. But Wizardry was always a game that screws you over. But let me drink something. I didn't see it as that harsh in Wizardry 5, for example. And I can't put my finger on it why Wizardry 5. Wizardry 5 had also monsters that could instantly kill you. Wizardry 5 also had monsters that could wipe out your party if you weren't careful. Wizardry 5 had quite a lot of things that could royally screw you over, but I had more fun with this game than with Wizardry 6. And I can't put my finger on it. Is it the access to... I think my main problem, which I kind of fixed in Wizardry 6, was the westing thing. You laid down to west and you weren't regenerating shit, because the game was designed like that. You could, somebody mentioned that you could save scum, like you west, save, west, save, west, get attacked, load, and so on. This is fun. This is supposed to be fun. I mean, that's still what I kind of like in games. They should be fun. There should be a challenge. But imagine playing Mega Man. Imagine playing Mega Man and you had to backtrack all the time to gather health. Like there is at the beginning of every level there is a health pool. And you could go back to the beginning every time you want to, but monsters respawn, of course. And monsters don't drop any health items. Nothing. And there are twice as many monsters there as in the regular Mega Man. And I don't know. Would that be fun? I don't know. I doubt it. Take Rogue Legacy, for example. Would Rogue Legacy be fun if you... I wouldn't say permadeath, because that's kind of against the point of the game. But would Rogue Legacy be more fun if you lose all your gold if you do not defeat a boss? Like, the bosses are not gone forever, but you have to defeat a boss in order to keep your gold, because otherwise your character dies in the middle of the castle and you couldn't go back. Would that be fun? No. I highly doubt that. I doubt I would have fun with that. Really, I do. Or if you had to start over from scratch all the time. Like you didn't have the mansion you bought, you kind of like... Yeah, it would be... not really. Like you had a set amount of gold, but that would be kind of like normal roguelikes. I think that's the main reason why I never really bothered with roguelikes. Even though I think they can be fun, because that's the premise of the game. You know if you play a roguelike that you will not get far on the first few tries. That's why you play a roguelike. I bought Dungeons of Dreadmore on the Steam sale. I haven't gotten past level 2 yet, but I'm kinda enjoying it. Just hitting the randomize my skill button and go in, because I know this game is unfair. I know that this game is hard, but that's kind of what I'm expecting. I didn't expect it with Icewind Dale. I didn't. Like this Dungeons of Dreadmore, the final boss is like, oh yeah, you need this skill in order to beat me. Would it be fun? No. They could randomize the skill. Oh, you don't have the special skill to beat me? No, too bad. Kind of what bothers me with Rogue Legacy, where you need special traits in order to access some areas in the castle. So you can only defeat the final boss if your character is gay. Like, make this trait actually useful. So you can only defeat the boss if your character is gay. Oh, you don't have a character that's not gay? Oh, too bad. You cannot defeat the boss. Come back when you have a gay character. Am I exaggerating? No. Icewind Dale. You need special weapons to kill the final boss, which you do not get through the main quest. It would be like playing a JRPG and suddenly you stand in front of the final boss and he's like, oh, did you collect the 7 Dragon Balls? No? Too bad. That was kind of the main story, but nobody told you about that. I don't mind streamlining. I really don't. I got a lot of flack for that during my XCOM review of the new XCOM game. I really, really enjoy the XCOM game. The new one. I also enjoy the old ones, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying the old ones are bad, but I don't know why some people felt happy equipping their soldiers all the time before a mission. And people would be like, oh, it would be really bad if you could just save your soldier setup. Why? Is it fun? Is it really fun? So a lot of people complain that they don't have to manufacture ammunition all the time. I can't really say something about it. I mean, we are in a military base, and I have to babysit my soldiers for everything. Should I make sure that they got a happy meal too, so they have something to eat during the mission? Should I make sure that they went to the toilet before starting the mission? It's a fucking military base. I'm kind of assuming that they have enough ammunition ready in order, and I don't have to manufacture that. There is a difference between... I didn't mind the ammunition shortage, for example, in Jagged Alliance 2. You are invading a country. You are in the midst of enemy territory. Of course you do not have unlimited ammunition going on. But I don't know. I personally think that was unnecessary in the original XCOM games. And I really, really enjoyed this in the newer ones, that I didn't have to babysit every single step of my characters. That is streamlining for me. That is making the game more accessible. And I personally didn't miss it. Really, I didn't. That's one of the main reasons why I usually just use laser weapons in the original XCOMs for the first quarter or 3/4 of the game, until they became obsolete, was because I didn't have to bother with ammunition. Or grenades or something. I mean, grenades, okay, I can take it. Like different tactics. Like you didn't want unlimited grenades. That would have been too overpowering. Or that you didn't take as many grenades as you want to, or you have all the time access to all grenades. I don't know how powerful grenades are in XCOM. It's just an example. But there is no tactical or strategical input or player skill in order to, do I use this ammunition or do I use ammunition or not? Correct me if I don't know if there are different types of ammunition in the old XCOM. I haven't played it for a long time and I didn't really get into the ammunition thing that much. I know I'm harping on it. Perhaps if there were different kinds of ammunition, then I create one time an ammunition type and then stick it to a soldier and be like, here, this is your ammunition type, you have armor piercing, you have something else. I don't know if that exists in XCOM. That would make sense, but not have to reproduce this all the time. Because usually it was a fire and forget thing. You just build like 5 billion of these things until your quarters kind of exploded full of this, and then you were gone. You were done for like the next 10 hours or something. You didn't have to bother with it. I don't know. I just think it's unnecessary. I don't mind streamline. I don't mind games getting too easy, but like I said, easy and difficulty is all in the eye of the beholder. Because I don't see a challenge in Wizardry 6 at the moment. It is just unfair. I mean, getting into a combat round, and if you are unlucky, the enemies crit you and you are dead. I mean, sure, you can say, yeah, your characters can crit too. Yes, they can, but they are 6 people fighting against 20 monsters all the time. I was fighting a bunch of Cybons, and they disabled my whole party after 2 turns. I couldn't do anything against it. Sure, it was a special encounter that you shouldn't fight perhaps at this level. Okay. But I also encounter Cybons in a normal mode. I don't know. I personally don't see a challenge at the moment in Wizardry, because the only thing I could think of doing now, because the game starves you with weapons, with armor, the game gives you nothing. Nothing at all. And you have to endure it. You have to take it. Take it like a bitch. And you are like, oh, please. I don't know. I'm harping. I know. I just wanted to talk a bit about Blade of Destiny and then my current Let's Plays and whatever. I am looking forward to Neverwinter Nights. I haven't played it for quite some time. Especially Shadows of Unwindtide and Horns of the Underdark. I am glad when Wizardry 6 is over. I can guarantee you that I will not immediately play Wizardry 7. I can guarantee you that. I think I will start Might and Magic 8 to kind of get into a more casual quotation mark experience of RPGs. I still have the Ultima series. About the Ultima series, I kind of wanted to talk about RPGs in general. And I was thinking, this is something that makes me think quite a lot about the different types of RPGs, and a lot of people are amazed. They are amazed that I do not like Planescape Torment. They are like, how can you love RPGs but hate Planescape Torment? It is like the RPG. It is not, in my opinion. If you have to Google Blood Piggy Planescape Torment, and I think the first thing on Abadonia you get is his review of this game, and it kinda is one-to-one what I think about this game. An RPG, in my opinion, is mostly about the rules inside the game. The creating your characters and getting them challenged in a fair way. Not like in a wizardry way where they just throw a boulder at you and say, loser. I did play Planescape Torment and I couldn't endure it. If I want to read a book, I will sit down and read a book. I do not know why people think that dialogues and story and whatever is the main part of a fucking RPG. You also have to realize how I grew up. What RPGs did I play? I played Dungeon Master, I played Eye of the Beholder, I played Might and Magic, I played Wizardry. What have these 4 titles in common? No dialogues, barely any story, dungeon grinding. That's the 3 pillars these games stand for. Why didn't I play Ultima? Because I'm fucking German! When I was younger, I couldn't understand a word of English. Do you think I couldn't survive in Ultima? It wasn't translated for German. I think it still isn't. The first Ultima I played was, I think, Pagan, when I kinda learned a little bit of English. I think they translated Pagan in German. And you have to excuse me, but if you play the Pagan as the first Ultima, you can understand why I wasn't that thrilled about the rest. I did buy Ultima Underworld, which was okay, but still way too much to wait for me. And I don't know, perhaps if I had someone who would play the games with me in my youth and explain to me what happens and stuff like that, I would have been happy. Or I would have liked Ultima more, but I like the premises of the game. I personally think it has a huge and good story. And from kind of what I've yeah, I saw some Let's Plays of this game, but most of the Let's Plays I saw people just exploiting the hell out of the game and becoming way too overpowered, way too fast. I don't know if you have to do that in Ultima in order to succeed. I did play Ultima 7 a little bit on Exalt, and I also have to say, gameplay-wise, it's horrible. Yeah, I know people will kill me for that or hate me for that, but you go into combat by pressing C, your characters run around in circles and the enemy dies. Whoa, whoop-de-fucking-do. That is exciting. The only thing Ultima 7 is a huge fetch quest, which with a semi-good story behind it. Not even semi, it is a good story. The premise is awesome. The story behind these games is awesome, but they could have just made a book out of that, in my opinion. I don't know. I never got interested for the Ultima series. Same with Planescape Torment. Planescape Torment, you get one character, and this character cannot equip armor. He's running around with wounds or something like that. So his armor class will suck. Have fun if you want to play a fighter. The only other mage in this game, as far as I know, is horrible. So you are most likely forced kinda to play a mage. But the quest to become a mage is also one of the most horrific fetch quests ever created, from what I've gathered. I think I started it, but I was like, yeah, no. So, gaming is an interactive medium. Games are an interactive medium. And I want to interact with the game. I want to play the game. I want to sit down. I want to strategize. I want to build my characters in a special way. I want to have this freedom of doing that. I don't want to be forced into a special niche. I don't want to be forced to specialize my character. Otherwise, I just cannot end the game like a System Shock. I don't want to be forced to these binary fights. Like, either you have everything it takes for this fight, or you lose. And nobody wants you beforehand about that. I don't like that. I don't like just pressing a button and the game plays itself for me. And the only thing I am inputting is traveling from A to B, collecting items and giving them to other people. That's not what I think is a good game. Horrible. I bought, or just watching cutscenes over cutscenes. I do enjoy some cutscenes, if they are well made, if they come after a boss fight. After a challenging and hard boss fight, I enjoy a cutscene without QuickTime events as a reward. I bought The Last Remnant on Steam, because I think the planets aligned somehow and I felt like I want to play a JRPG. I didn't get any information beforehand. Nothing. The game starts with a cutscene. Of course, it is a JRPG. They have to throw the whole storyline at you first. They can't just wake you up somewhere. No, here storyline. Then you had one combat, where the only thing you do was press return 4 times and then the fight happened. I still don't know what exactly happened there. I couldn't follow. It was like, yeah, there was guys flanking some other guys and then suddenly cutscene and yeah, your hero somehow has a MacGuffin that protected him from an explosion and he fell down a cavern with a girl, and then they talked a little bit. It's horrible how they don't act normally. And then there was another cutscene, and I think I was like 30 minutes into the game, and the only input I did was pressing return 4 times. Engaging gameplay. This game, as far as I know, has some pretty cool combat system. I hope I can enjoy it sometime, perhaps in 5 years or so, when the game finally decides to actually be a game. I think that's why I didn't really like Final Fantasy 13. I mean, this game is horrible. God, so many cutscenes. So yeah, so that's why I mostly enjoy dungeon crawlers. That's my main reason why I like dungeon crawlers. Because usually you don't get pelted with story. Of course, Dungeon Master could have more story. I kind of like the tidbits with Grimwalk, where you got the story thrown at you while you were resting, which is usually something where you wait anyway, so they solved that really, really good. I also don't mind finding some scrolls somewhere and having a little bit of tidbit. But compare this, like, I want to experience the story. I don't want to read it. I don't want to just sit there and be like, yeah, that's a really cool video. No, I want to experience it. Take Bioforge, for example. I was reading in 2 parts for almost 3 hours. 3 hours. That's how I felt playing fucking Planescape Torment. Sitting down for 3 hours, reading, listening, choosing game options or dialogue options. That's not fun for me. That's kind of like, yeah, for me Planescape Torment is an adventure game. They could scrap the whole RPG quotation mark aspect of it, remove the combat, just make an RPG. Nobody would care. Would anybody really care? Was the combat in Planescape Torment so engaging? What is the difference between Planescape Torment and a normal adventure game except the combat? Take the combat away. What's the difference? Sure, perhaps you need like 20 charisma in order to unlock all the dialogue options, otherwise a huge part of the game, according to some reviews, is just not available to you. Another reason why you shouldn't play a fighter, by the way, because a fighter with lots of charisma or no, intelligence, either charisma or intelligence or both, I don't know. One more reason to play a fucking a mage. Imagine playing Monkey Island and you had to put stats at the beginning of the game, like wit or funny remarks, and if you did not put enough points into funny remarks, the game is boring or they don't make any jokes. Would that be awesome? Would that be like, yes, gameplay? I don't know. That's my main reason why I don't like Planescape Torment. It is an adventure game with RPG aspect tacked on it. That's it. I don't see an RPG in this game. I don't. You don't need to have a huge, eloquent story in an RPG, because story, you can have an action game with story, you can have an adventure game with story. That's the only thing they usually have, because they don't really have a lot of gameplay in it, except of puzzle solving that nobody can solve. You can have visual novels with story. That's also the only one thing they have. Every fucking genre can have a huge and engaging story. I think the most engaging story that I ever had was Metal Gear Solid 3. I really loved the story there. But it wasn't an RPG. Oh, holy shit, we have a game with a good story that is an RPG. Call the police. Perhaps because the genre doesn't have anything to do if you can tell a good story or not. Ever thought about that? And that's the problem. If the game suffers because of the story, or the genre suffers because of the story. And that's why I don't like Planescape Torment, because the story forces you to play in a special certain way, in my opinion, from the little bit that I gathered. And I don't like that. I don't like that at all. That's it. I don't know. I'm exhausted. Oh well. So that was kind of huge rant about stuff. I am looking forward to play Might and Magic soon as I beat Wizardry. Perhaps I will play Might and Magic 1 or 2 first before I play 8. I even considered for like a glimpse of a second to play Might and Magic 6, but it will be a pretty unconventional party. I think one person suggested in a thread that you play 1 druid and 3 mages, and that's the fastest party to get through this game. Maybe. Sounds interesting, at least. I am looking forward to Wizardry being done. And I also thought about... now I forgot the name. Wait a second, let me check the word. I love Google. A contest. A raffle. A sweepstake. A competition. A lottery. Sounds a little bit strange. Let's say contest. I don't want to reveal too much about it, but it will be hard to say. It will be without prizes per se, so you won't get anything out of that. I may lose a lot of money, but you won't get anything out of that. Let me give you 2 hints, 3 hints perhaps. It will be some artistic thing. You may get out your canvases, or you may get out your instruments. Dun dun dun. What does he want? What is he talking about? I don't know. I will reveal this in a few weeks, days, whenever. I have to prepare something for that to show you my intention behind that. But other than that, I think it's time to wrap this up before I start talking about religion or whatever again. I thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And we will see each other soon. So take care and goodbye.